Welcome back to Locked On Blues. I'm your host, Haley Simon. Today we have a lot to talk about from over the weekend recaps with free agency, prospect development camp, and so much more. And folks, I can confidently say that the St. Louis Blues are looking more and more like a playoff contending team. This is all coming up on Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you guys for making Locked On Blues your first listen every day. As I said, my name is Haley Simon, and I am your host of Locked On Blues. You might be wondering, hey, Hale, are you in a different background once again? And that is correct. I am on vacation this week, but of course I'm going to give you the most recent up-to-date Blues information, and vacation does not stop the grind. I love talking about the St. Louis Blues, and no matter where I am or what I'm doing, I will always find times to upload a video. So I just wanted to let you know that, yes, while I'm on vacation, it doesn't matter. We are still going to be talking some St. Louis Blues hockey. Also, for those that don't know, I just want to introduce myself again. I do this every episode, usually on Mondays, just so I can give a little bit of a refresher. As I said, my name is Haley Simon, and I've been covering hockey for about 5 seasons now from the NHL perspective. I first began when the Blues went to the Stanley Cup and won it in 2019, and I'm excited to be a part of the Locked On Network, your team every day. You can find every episode wherever you get your podcasts. So you can get it on Spotify, Apple Music, SiriusXM, wherever you get it. You can also find us on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube right now, that's why I mentioned I have a different background. It is because when I do my podcast, I'm also recording myself as well. So it's a webcast and a podcast. And that is a little bit about me. Huge hockey girl, love my hockey. Hockey, hockey, hockey. Hockey is life. Life is hockey. Speaking of life, a lot of life happened this weekend. The first thing I want to comment on is Ryan O'Reilly. He signed with the Nashville Predators over the weekend, and I know there was some talk and speculation about O'Reilly potentially coming back, but from how it looked like at the draft, it looked near to impossible that O'Reilly would be a Blue once again. I think, and we talked about this on a previous episode, that sometimes you just need to go. You need to just let these players that once were so important to your team go. And hopefully he'll be successful with Nashville, right? You want to wish him the best. But that kind of put the end to all the potential rumors and speculation about O'Reilly coming back to St. Louis. I also do believe that the draft did play a huge part in that. With the Blues drafting a lot of centers, it just showed that they want to get younger. And obviously, O'Reilly being in his 30s, older in hockey, not old in life. I always want to reiterate that. Just because you're old in hockey does not mean that you're old in the game of life. I personally feel a little old sometimes when I think about the fact that all these kids that were drafted are maybe like 6 years younger than me. That made me feel a little bit old. I kind of was like, okay, we can stop with making me feel old. And I feel young when I think about myself compared to O'Reilly. So there's that. But I wanted to let you know that all of St. Louis has to thank Ryan O'Reilly. He has been such a big part of the success to this team. And while it's now indefinite that he won't come back, I just want to thank him and just have that moment to just say, everything that he did, I appreciate. I will remember, and he will forever be a Blue. But right now, he is a Predator, so a Nashville Predator. That sounded kind of bad. But we did have one player return in free agency, and who that might be, the return of the Mac. I love his name. Mackenzie Mac Earnshurn is returning to the Blues on a 2-year, one-way contract. So let me give you a little bit of an update on who the Mac is. He's 29, and he was originally drafted by the Blues in the third round, 67th overall of the 2012 NHL draft. He spent his first 4 NHL seasons in St. Louis, and last year the Bloomfield Hills, Michigan native, I thought that was a team. This is all from the Blues website. Dressed in 37 games for the AHL Chicago Wolves, posting 30 points, 11 goals, and 19 assists, and 12 penalty minutes. He also appeared in 8 postseason games for the Carolina Hurricanes, tallying a goal and an assist. Overall, Mac Armstrong has accumulated 19 points, 11 goals, 8 assists, and 55 penalty minutes in 115 career NHL regular season games, all which have come from the Blues. All right, so what is the realistic plan with him? Obviously, he's going to be like a fourth liner, if at all. But, it's nice when you have a player come back. I mean, you kind of expected his career to be a little bit better, considering the fact 67th overall is still pretty good. But that's how the NHL is, so we might see him every so often. I'm not expecting huge things. But with him being 29 years old, you have to be realistic. And what can you really expect from him? All right. The Blues also signed 3 other guys. So Kalynuk, he's 26, and he was originally drafted by the Flyers in the 7th round, 196 overall in the 2017 draft. Last season, he split time between the AHL's Oxford Canucks and Hartford Wolfpack, recording 19 points, 4 goals, 15 assists, and 86 penalty minutes in 61 regular season games overall. He collected 3 points, 1 goal, 2 assists in 9 postseason games with the Wolfpack. Overall, Kalynuk has totaled 56 points, 13 goals, 43 assists, and 147 penalty minutes in 121 career AHL regular season games, as well as 9 points, 4 goals, 5 assists in 26 career NHL regular season games with the Chicago Blackhawks. So, again, this is another guy that I don't expect much out of. I'm not really sure why the Blues signed a couple of these guys, just because of the fact that they're not beneficial, but, The Blues also signed Jacobs, 27 years old, was originally drafted by the New Jersey Devils in the 2nd round, 41st overall of the 2014 NHL draft. Last season, he tallied 10 points, 4 goals, 6 assists, and 18 penalty minutes in 43 regular season games with the AHL's Colorado Eagles. He also posted 4 games, 1 goal, 3 assists, and 7 postseason games. Overall, Jacobs has recorded 81 points, 17 goals, and 64 assists, and 177 penalty minutes in 341 career AHL regular season games, as well as 2 penalty minutes in 3 NHL regular season games with the Devils. Again, come on, I don't understand this, but you got to trust the process, because I don't know necessarily what the Blues are thinking signing these guys. But then the last guy that we're going to talk about, if I can get it. Subban, 29 years old, was originally drafted by the Boston Bruins in the 1st round, 24th overall in the 2012 NHL draft. Last season, he went 20-14-5 with a 2.94 goal against average and a .903 save percentage in 39 regular season appearances with the AHL's Rochester Americans. He went 8-6-0 with a 2.56 goal against average and a .916 save percentage in 14 postseason games. Overall, Subban has posted 76-61 and 28 regular record, along a 2.56 goal against average and a .914 save percentage in 171 career AHL regular season games, as well as a record as 36, 33, and 9 record with a 3.10 goal against average and a .898 save percentage in 86 career NHL regular season games. Not great players, not horrible players. I don't know. I'm not questioning it. Yeah, like I told you, free agency, nothing would really happen, and the Blues kind of proved that to be correct, but you can just still kind of agree that it was a little bit disappointing, but, nothing much happened, and it is what it is. I would have liked to added a couple bigger names in the free agency market out there, but clearly that's not Doug's plan, and I just don't even question his plan anymore after the draft. I had to apologize to him because he did better than I expected him to do. So, but one thing that makes my life easy is Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens is great nutrients. I love Athletic Greens. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1 year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NHL network. Again, that's athleticgreens.com/NHL network to take ownership over your health and pick up ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Um, Athletic Greens is a climate neutral certified company. That means that they're a fully carbon neutral business. They calculate their 2020 carbon footprint and purchase carbon credits that support projects projecting old growth rainforests in Central and South America to offset their emissions. They also designed a carbon reduction plan designed to reduce overall environmental impact. Good nutrients should be available to all. For every purchase, we donate to organizations helping to get nutritious food to kids in need, including No Kid Hungry here in the U.S. Athletic Greens donated over 100.2 million meals to kids in 2020. Awesome. Alrighty, development camp. What has been going on with the St. Louis Blues development camp? Um, so this is from Blues reporter Jeremy Rutherford, who does The Athletic. Great reporter. So today this was on Dvorsky on his highlight reel scrimmage performance. Quote, "That's why I'm here. I'm just trying to make an impression and just to show myself to people who believe in me. I'm not here just for the hat and t-shirt." I like that about him. I'm still surprised that he fell to 10. But I like the fact that, he's playing well. He seems very humble and level headed, I guess you can say. When it comes to, Dvorsky, this was a guy that I didn't think the Blues would be able to get, but they got him. And, he's definitely very talented. So we have a comment from Steiner. Quote, "At these camps, you want to see that curiosity, that willingness to learn. You can see it in their eyes, the excitement of being on the ice, that drive. They are great character kids." So again, this camp is about proving themselves and showing, this this is the ultimate test to see if you're going to be in the NHL. And for some of these guys, it may take a little bit longer. For some of them, it may take a couple seasons, not even a season. But I think it's important to just remember that this is their time to prove to everybody why they should be St. Louis Blues. So that is some notable highlights from today. And I have to say, Prospect Camp is exciting. Prospect Camp is when you get to see the highlighting of the talent on the ice. So, we also have a quote from Steiner on Dvorsky. Quote, "Very good, very competitive, very humble, curious, wants to learn, really strong. I'm impressed with his strength on his stick. And when you're battling that hard, he still has the touch when he gets the puck free. He's a very talented player and a great person." I like the fact that so many people on this coaching staff really like Dvorsky and they see a lot of potential in him. This is a player that hopefully will be the new face of the franchise. And I'm not saying put him on the first line now, right? That's a little crazy. But what I am saying is maybe give him that chance. I really do like him, and I like the response the coaching staff has given him. I like the response that the fellow guys on the team have given him. I just overall feel like he is somebody that has so much future here in St. Louis. And I think that's all you can really ask for is for somebody to give their all in with effort, all in with play skill and mobility and enthusiasm. So yeah, I think just looking at the camp in total, he had a beauty of a backhander, as I was saying, and it's not a bad thing at all. Um, but these camps, interesting with the scrimmages, the drills, the competitiveness, and this is the test. Some guys will make it, some guys won't. Some guys fall, some guys crumble, sometimes rise above. So for me, I'm just more curious about the end result of camp, who stayed consistent, who impressed and who didn't impress, because sometimes that's just as important as impressing is not having a good camp. And this is the start of the season. Now we're officially in the 2023 2024 season. I almost said 24-25. I was getting a little ahead of myself. But folks, it is still 2023. And this gives me a lot of excitement, enthusiasm, since I just wanted to be hockey season already. But technically, it is hockey season, okay? Technically, we're in the midst of hockey season, so it's fine. I am fine. You are fine. We're fine. But you know what else is fine? Here is my transition of the day. I'm trying not to lose my voice here, as you guys can tell. eBay Motors. That was a good transition. For a championship team, it's all about making sure every player is a perfect fit. It's the same when it comes to your vehicle. Every part needs to fit just right. So the next time you need parts and accessories, head to eBay Motors. With eBay Guaranteed Fit, you can be sure every part you need fits right. The first time around, just add your ride to My Garage and look for the green check to know if a part will fit or your money back. Because just like in sports, confidence is the name of the game when you shop on eBay Motors. And with over 122 million parts to choose from, you'll be back in the game in no time. After all, it's easy to bring home a win when the right parts are guaranteed. Get the right parts, get the right fit, and the right prices on ebaymotors.com. Let's ride. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. The last thing I want to touch on, St. Louis, that I feel like I need to talk to you about is my confidence for next season. In the episode I did on Friday, I stated that the St. Louis Blues could be a cup contending team. I was vague about that. I am not saying that the Blues could be a cup contending team this coming season. I just meant in the next couple seasons when you add a guy like Dvorsky and you just, continue to develop. Of course I'm going to be confident. I think that sometimes when you say too little and you don't say enough, people will take it out of context, and that's okay. I want you to have your opinions. I want you to tell me if you agree with what I say or you don't agree with what I say. But when I say this, I am confident that this will be a playoff contending team. Being a cup contending team is very difficult. I think this season everyone thought that the Bruins would be a cup contending team, and yet they lost in the first round of the playoffs. So when it comes to being a cup contending team, that's not an easy thing to predict. That's not an easy thing to have that confidence in. But what I can have confidence in is this, folks. This team very well could be a playoff contending team. That sorry, wrap this episode up. I just want to reiterate this. The St. Louis Blues have that potential. They have that ability. And if they execute it correctly, then who is to say that they won't be a playoff contending team? I want you to answer this question below. So my everydayers, I want you to comment. If you're on Twitter at Locked On Blues or Haley T. Simon, I want you to answer this. What do you think is stopping you from believing that this team could be a playoff contending team? I want to know your answer. As I said, because the internet keeps on cutting out just a little bit, I don't want to go back and forth with pausing and unpausing. So today's going to be a little bit shorter. But overall, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's episode. You can follow, as I said, at Locked On Blues for all of your latest Blues updates and information on Twitter. You can also find my own Twitter at Haley T. Simon. I have been as active since the whole Elon Musk, reducing the amount of tweets you can view. It's been very frustrating. So I said, I'm going to just enjoy my life and not be on Twitter as often because it's beyond frustrating. And I don't know what Elon is doing. But you can comment on the YouTube videos. I see all the comments, and I try to reply to everybody in a timely manner. That's it for today for Locked On Blues. As I said, my name is Haley Simon, and I will see you tomorrow. And as always, let's go Blues.